Greetings, friends of the universe. Lightworkers are souls who have a strong inner desire to spread light, knowledge, freedom, and love on earth. They feel it's their mission. They're often drawn to spiritual and some kind of therapeutic work. Because of their deep sense of mission, lightworkers feel different from other people. By experiencing different types of obstacles in their path, life encourages them to find their own unique path. Lightworkers are almost always lonely individuals who do not adapt to established social structure. A note on lightworker concept. The expression lightworker can cause misunderstandings, as it differentiates a particular group of souls from the rest. Furthermore, it may seem to suggest that this particular group is, in some way, superior to the others, for example, to those non-lightworkers. This whole line of thinking is at odds with the very nature and purpose of the work of the light. Allow us to briefly expose what's wrong with that. First, claims to superiority are generally not illuminated. They block your growth towards a free and loving consciousness. Second, lightworkers are neither better nor superior to anyone. They simply have a different story than those who do not belong to this group. Thanks to this peculiar story, which we will discuss later, they have certain psychological characteristics that distinguish them as a group. Third, every soul becomes a lightworker at a certain stage in its development. Therefore, the lightworker qualification is not reserved for a limited number of souls. The reason we use the term lightworker, despite possible misunderstandings, is because it brings associations and steered memories within you that helps you to remember. There is also practical convenience, as this term is often used in your current spiritual literature. Historical roots of lightworkers. Lightworkers bring with them the ability to achieve a spiritual awakening more quickly than other people. They carry inner seeds for a quick spiritual awakening. Because of this, they seem to be on a faster track than most people, if they choose. Again, this is not because the lightworkers are somehow better or superior souls. However, they are older than most souls incarnated on earth today. This older age should be understood, preferably in terms of experience rather than time. Lightworkers reach their particular stage of enlightenment before they incarnated on earth and began their mission. They consciously chose to get involved in the karmic wheel of life and experience all the forms of confusion and illusion that are part of it. They did this to fully understand the earth experience. This will allow them to fulfill their mission. Only by going through all the stages of ignorance and illusion themselves will they finally have the tools to help others achieve a state of true happiness and enlightenment. Why do lightworkers pursue this sincere mission to help humanity, even at the risk of being lost for ages in the density and confusion of terrestrial life? This is an issue that we deal with extensively below. Now, we will just say that this has to do with a kind of galactic karma. The lightworker witnessed the eve of the birth of humanity on earth. They were a part of creation of man. They were co-creators of humanity. During the creation process, they made choices and acted in ways that later came to cause them deep regret. They're here now to repair their decisions then. Before entering this story, we will mention some characteristics of the lightworking souls, which generally distinguish them from other people. These psychological traits do not belong exclusively to lightworkers, and not all lightworkers will recognize them as their own. In presenting this list, we simply want to give an outline of the psychological identity of the lightworkers. As for the characteristics, the external behavior is less important than the internal motivations of felt intentions. What you feel inside is more important than what you show outside. Psychological characteristics of lightworkers. From an early stage in their lives, they feel they are different. They almost always feel isolated from others, lonely, and misunderstood. They often become individualists and have to find their own ways in life. They find it difficult to feel comfortable in traditional jobs, and or in bureaucratic structures. Lightworkers are naturally anti-authoritarian, which means that they are naturally resist decisions or values based solely on power of hierarchy. This trait of anti-authoritarianism is present even among those who seem shy and ashamed. It is related to the very sense of their mission here on earth. Lightworkers are attracted to help people, as therapists or as teachers. They can be psychologists, healers, teachers, nurses, etc. Even if your profession is not directly related to helping people, your intention to contribute to the well-being of humanity is clearly present. Your outlook on life is colored by a spiritual sense of how all things are related to each other. Consciously or unconsciously, they carry memories of non-terrestrial spheres of light within them. You may occasionally miss those spheres of light, feel like a stranger on earth. They honor and deeply respect life, which often manifests itself as affection for animals and concern for the environment. The destruction of parts of the animal or plant kingdom on earth by human action evokes deep feelings of loss and distress in them. They are kind, sensitive, and empathetic. They may feel uncomfortable when faced with aggressive behavior and often find it difficult to defend themselves. They can be dreamers, naive, or deeply idealistic, as well as insufficiently rooted, that is, not having their feet on the ground, as they are able to capture negative feelings and moods from the people around them. It is important that they can regularly spend time alone. This allows them to distinguish between their own feelings and those of other people. They need moments of solitude to recover their base and be in contact with Mother Earth. They lived many lives on Earth, in which they were deeply involved with spirituality and our religion. They were present in great numbers in the old religious orders of their past, as monks, nuns, hermits, psychics, witches, shamans, priests, priestesses, etc. They were the ones who built a bridge between the visible and the invisible, between the daily context of terrestrial life and the mysterious kingdoms of the afterlife, of God and the spirits of good and evil. For playing this role, they were often disowned and persecuted. Many of you were sentenced to the stake for your gifts. The traumas of the persecutions left deep marks in the memory of their souls. These can now manifest as fear of being completely rooted, that is, fear of being really present because you remember being brutally attacked for being who you were. Lose yourself, the danger for the lightworker. Lightworkers can be trapped in the same states of ignorance and illusions as anyone else, although they start from a different starting point. Their ability to break through fear and illusion in order to achieve enlightenment can be blocked by many factors. By illumination, we mean the state in which you understand that you are essentially of light, able to choose light any time. One of the factors that block the path of enlightenment for lightworkers is the fact that they have a heavy karmic charge, which can cause them to stray for a long time. As we stated earlier, this karmic burden is related to decisions they made regarding humanity in its early stages. These were essentially disrespectful decisions for life. We will talk about this later in this chapter. All lightworkers who live now want to correct some of their past mistakes and recover and take care of what has been destroyed because of it. When the lightworkers complete their path through the karmic charge, that is, when they release all kinds of power needs, they will understand that they are essentially beings of light. This will allow them to help others to find their own true selves. But first, they have to go through this process themselves, which usually requires great determination and perseverance at the internal level. Due to the values and judgments instilled in them by society, which often go against their own natural impulses, many lightworkers got lost, ending up in states of self-distrust, self-denial, and even depressions and hopelessness. This is because they are unable to adapt to the established order and conclude that there must be something terribly wrong with them. What lightworkers have to do at this point is to stop looking for external validation through parents, friends, or society. At some point, you, who you are reading this, will have to make the leap to true authorization, which means truly believing in yourself and truly honoring your natural inclinations and inner knowledge by acting in accordance with them. We invite you to do this and assure you that we will be with you every step of the way. Just as you, in the not too distant future, we will be there to help others on their way.